Hey family, quick check-in with some talk from my heart. If this video hits home, here's how you can help carry the message further. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Pass it on to someone who's in a fight, someone who's been down but not out. Let's remind the world that God has always used underdogs. Thanks for tuning in. Your support means the world to me. Here we go. A few minutes for us, underdogs and strugglers in the Bible. What if your hardships aren't proof that you're falling behind, but proof that you're moving forward? What if each challenge is God's way of shaping your story for something far more significant than you would ever imagine? My name is Tony Lewis, and here I'm again, y'all. And it's my plum-pleasing pleasure, as usual, to share with you today. A few minutes for us. The U is for underdogs, and the S is for strugglers in the Bible. Today, we will give you a snapshot, as usual, of a scriptural character, the story in a picture, the struggle principle, the success principle, and a lesson to practice. We gotta do something, y'all. You know I always say that. Of underdogs and strugglers in the Bible. Let me tell you about the 21st biblical character we will look at today. The widow at Zarephath. The widow at Zarephath. Oh, she witnessed a way-making God. She witnessed a way-making God. Let me tell you about her story. It's in 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 8 to 16. She lived in Zarephath, a place of poverty during the time of a drought, a desperation. Oh, there was no water. She lived in the famine, and fear of food was scarce. No food! And her hope was shrinking. She was preparing a last meal, gathering stuff and preparing for herself and her son to die. She was asked by a stranger, the prophet Elijah, for water and a meal. She had faith-filled favor despite her lack. She gave what little she had. Let me tell you about her struggle. She had barely a bite to eat. Only a handful of flour. What? And a little oil. What? She was burdened by brokenness. Her heart was heavy and expected to starve and die. She faced a fearful future. She didn't even know what tomorrow was going to bring, y'all. She faced a big request from Elijah. He told her, feed me first. Give me something to eat, sister, first. Her success, she was low in food, but lean in faith. Leaning on faith. She followed in faith. She chose to trust what God said. Her faith led to fullness. Her barrel was blessed. Her flour never ran out. Kept coming up in there. Her jug was jumping with joy, and her oil stayed full every day. Her family was fed, and her son ate every day. She witnessed a wonder. She saw God do a miracle right in her kitchen. What? But what's the lesson? What's the lesson? Oh, God provides miraculously in the midst of lack. Let me say that again. God provides miraculously in the midst of lack. But remember, when you struggle and barely have a bite to eat, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, unsure of how to stretch the little you have, when you're burdened by brokenness and your heart is heavy with grief, stress, or silent struggles that no one else sees, when you're fearful of the future and you feel unsure about what's next, will things get better or break bad and worse? When God or others call on you to give, serve, and trust, even when you're running out on empty, when you're standing at the scarce season and you're at the end of your rope and the resources feel dried up. Remember, succeed after the struggle. When you lean on the Lord, even when it doesn't make sense, faith opens up the door for favor. When you follow in faith, trusting God's word over your worry transforms your waiting into winning. When your obedience brings overflow, even when you start with only a spoonful. What? When your resources stretch, doors open and miracles happen where there was once not enough. When God turns your emptiness into evidence of his endless supply. My God, when God shows up in everyday places, in your kitchen, on your job, or even in a jar, remember, God provides miraculously in the midst of lack. God provides miraculously in the midst of lack. To God be the glory. I'm out, y'all.